Hello Leo and welcome to Wild Magnolia Tarot. My name is Maddie and this is going to be our weekly reading for whenever you see this video. From now on, all of my weekly readings will be timeless, so whenever you come across it, that's probably when it's right for you. Quick disclaimers, this is a general reading and cannot possibly resonate with everyone, so please take what does resonate, leave what does not, and if none of it resonates, that's okay, this one might not be for you. You can check out one of the readings for one of your other major signs. Or you can go check out some of the many beautiful, talented readers on this platform who may have something more attuned to your situation this week. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor, lawyer, physician, therapist, counselor, financial expert, etc. I am just a girl with a passion for the tarot. And anything that I say resembling advice is based solely on my own opinions, my own knowledge and experiences, my interpretations of the cards, and any little bits and pieces that may occur to me intuitively throughout this reading. If this does resonate, if you do enjoy it, please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can get notified when I upload videos in the future. And if you have any suggestions for themed readings, pick-a-cards, etc. that you would like to see me do on my channel, please leave that in a comment as well, and I would love to see your suggestions and implement them again in future videos. So, with all that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get started, starting out as usual with archetype cards. I actually decided to use both archetype decks this week. I got a lot going on because I felt like it. I don't know. I don't have a good reason. So this week, Leo, you guys, first you get Child Wounded. Light attributes: awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. The shadow attributes: blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. Okay, so childhood issues and the theme of forgiveness being very strong in this reading for you guys this week. The next card we have is the Orphan from the Wild Unknown Archetype Deck. Very similar meaning. It's actually very interesting to me that both of these came out in the same reading, or excuse me, interesting card. The Orphan is the wounded child, and it calls you back to thinking about issues that may have occurred in your life as the result of childhood trauma or something that happened in childhood. It can literally be referring to some sort of abandonment, or if you lost your parents at a young age. You're being called to pay attention to the thought patterns and behaviors and decisions that you've made based on that pain, that trauma from childhood. Possibly early childhood as well. And so this also encompasses things that you may not necessarily have a clear conscious memory of, but still has an effect on you. So for example, for those who may have PTSD from an event they don't actually remember, your body remembers. You may not be able to think of it consciously or recall it in your memory, but the brain remembers. Your heart remembers. Okay? So if you're running into issues, or you're feeling depressed, or there are things that are coming back to you at this time, consider perhaps what happened in childhood or when you were younger that led you to where you are today. And consider working towards some inner child healing, because that seems to be a major theme here for you guys. The next card I have for you from the First Light Tarot is Diversity. Okay, and at the bottom there it says Blending. And so I had to look at this card for a second and meditate on it to get an idea of how this ties together. And with the Wounded Child card, there's this element of helping other people. Of being able to relate to others who also have that childhood trauma or that wounded child energy. And so when I see the Diversity card, I imagine you being able to relate to people who are very different from you, people who may have differing opinions, differing politics, who may have come from different lifestyles, different statuses, wage brackets, etc., where what you do relate on, the level at which you are all the same, is related to some sort of childhood trauma. And so I think there's an element here of being able to be understanding towards other people, being forgiving and compassionate towards the issues and the behaviors of others that may bother you because of, where the roots in those behaviors might lie. But also, there may be something about your purpose, your job here on earth, that has to do with helping other wounded children, okay? Whether they still be children or adults now at this time. Helping other people make it through the aftermath of things that happened in childhood that were very devastating, very traumatic, in the same way that perhaps some of you have as well. Now, I got a new deck in the mail today. It was one that I pre-ordered a long time ago, and so I drew a card from this deck for you guys. This is the first reading this week using this card, so you're the very first. But the card that I pulled for you guys, and this is from the Elemental Oracle, okay? Music, and it also says joy, all right? Healing through music, that's what this card is about. Healing through music and healing through vibration. This can be through singing, through writing, just by listening to music. I pulled it out of the shot there. It's okay, you can barely see it anyway. But you may find success in your healing process through the use of music or sound healing, perhaps through making music, okay, through your art. Dance is also included in that musical category as well, healing your mind, your body, your soul through dance, through making music, through listening to music, and also paying attention to the kinds of sounds and vibrations that you expose yourself to on the daily basis and how they may affect you on an emotional level. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards from the Memento Mori deck to see if I can get a better idea of what exactly might be going on for some of you guys this week, the main situation at play. We're starting out with the woman. This could be you. This could be somebody in your life who's relevant in your situation at this time. If it is a woman in your life, it's somebody that's going to be popping up or somebody that you are dealing with currently. I do want to specify that. This isn't some woman in the distant future. If this isn't you, even if you're a man, you could also see this card as referring to our more feminine side, our feminine aspects, our emotional bodies, okay? Whatever the case, there is some theme of a woman being significant at this time, currently. Let's see what else we've got for you guys. Okay, we have the cure. This did pop up in another reading as well. A lot of healing going on right now. This woman may provide the cure. If you are this woman, then you may be coming towards a cure or a remedy of some kind for any difficulties that you may be dealing with. An illness, if you want to be literal, then perhaps you have an illness and you will find a cure to that illness, or that illness will resolve shortly. However, I don't think that's what it is, because a lot of this is about childhood trauma. So I think that this is about you finding the answers that you need to be able to process and release old trauma and move forward in your life. And this may be through seeking help of a professional, and that professional may end up being a woman, doesn't have to be. Or you may receive a lot of support from a woman in your life at this time. Let's see what else we've got. Alright, so I got two cards that came out for you guys next. We have the sachet, or sachet. I'm not sure how to say that word exactly. Satchel? No. So, it's like a little medicine bag, for those who know what that is. It's a little pouch, and you can put herbs, flowers, crystals, charms, anything that holds meaning to you, with the specific intent of healing. Okay, so this could be calling you to explore different items available to you in the world that could assist you in the healing process. Some of you may benefit literally from carrying a medicine bag around with you. I know someone who did, and they put some like lavender and some other herbs specific, flower petals, etc., with a couple crystals, and they wore it around their neck, and how they wore it, it laid over their heart, which may be very helpful to you guys, because a lot of this, a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of childhood issues on an energetic level is going to affect you, I'm going to say in the lower chakras and the heart chakra. And it can be all of them. Usually, if you've got an imbalance in one area, it's going to throw everything else off. But to wear a medicine bag over the heart, or to wear a specific crystal or charm or something that holds a lot of meaning to you, that has a lot of positive emotion attached to it, that can be helpful to you, whether it works in a magical way or whether it just serves as a reminder of your dedication to your own healing, and then the healing of others that you may encounter that you're dealing with. So do consider perhaps a medicine bag or some kind of object that you can, I think people call it programming. You program it with an intent, and that intent would be something towards healing and wearing it over the heart. Alright, so the last card that I'm going to pull from this deck is the Memento Mori card itself, the big and the bad. I forget the exact translation of Memento Mori, but it's something along the lines of remember you must die, or remember we must die, okay? And in divination, death is always about change, a very deep and profound change that occurs within. Ego death, if you want to think about it that way. It's a shift in perspective, a shift in paradigm. It's a shift in lifestyle. It's a shift in how you see yourself as well as how you see the world, and the actions you take, the decisions you make. And in turn, it translates to a change in how you affect the world and the energy that you put out, and how that energy affects other people, kind of like the butterfly effect, okay? So, and there is in this reading an element of being able to relate to other people or make positive changes or positive influences on other people's lives through your own healing. So I think that this card coming out, it really is just outlining this death process for you, that right now what's happening, the reason why old trauma might be coming up is because now is the time to deal with it. Now is the time to process. Now is the time to begin the healing process if you have not done so already. And if you are already in the healing process, and this is a time where a lot of major realizations are going to take place for you. A lot of things are going to occur to you that perhaps you didn't know before, or that you didn't recognize before. Particularly when it has to do with, I think, concept of self, your worthiness, and the truth of the root behind whatever it is that happened when you were a kid that brought you here into this healing process. And just remember, right? You must die. We all must die. We all must reach a point through cycles regularly where the old you falls away and a new you is created, is born. And we create ourselves through this death process. We create somebody that we want to be, somebody that is more aligned with our beliefs, our values, and our motivations, our desire to, create the life we want to live. It is very dependent upon intent as well. And the intent here should simply be to heal. To heal and to be happy, to find that joy that perhaps you've struggled to find up until this point. So now we're going to pull some tarot cards to clarify some of those and see what else Spirit has to bring our attention to today. First, I'm going to clarify the Woman card, see if Spirit can give us an idea of who this woman may be if it is not you, or perhaps what their role may be in your story, in this situation. Clarify the woman, please. So we have the Four of Blades, and the Four of Blades is all about rest, recuperation, and healing as well. So if this woman is you, then you are coming up on a period of rest and recuperation. Oh, okay, this is interesting because actually a second card came out and I didn't look at it. I was just holding it. You also have the Four of Pentacles. So rest, recuperation, and conservation of energy and resources. Two themes that are going to be very important for you at this time, which definitely backs up that concept of healing, okay? When you are going through a healing process, you're going to want to be in a safe and protected environment, somewhere where you are comfortable enough to open your heart and release any negativity that you may be carrying around. Having two fours come out under the woman, if this woman is you, then this is describing a period of time where you receive a lot of relief and you are able to rest. You're able to release this pain and this trauma, get some rest, and then start building up a new foundation for yourself upon which you can grow in the future. The Four of Pentacles is about having strong earthly foundations, and this can have to do with finances or career. Because we live on Earth, I feel like Earth really encompasses everything to a certain degree. But this could also be about you working towards gaining a level of independence as well, if you are dependent on somebody else for material security. As you go through this healing process, then you become a lot more balanced, a lot more stable, and you gain this ability to build a life for yourself where you do not need to depend on anybody else, where you can take care of yourself and you can continue to grow without worrying about becoming destabilized by anything in particular. So just to clarify before I move on, Four of Swords and the Four of Pentacles are talking about getting rest, taking care of yourself, and making sure that your foundations, both material, mental, and emotional, are strong and secure for the next step of the healing process. Because this is something that you are in the middle of at this point. Okay, so now I'm going to clarify the remedy, or the cure, excuse me. And we have the Chariot, and the Chariot came out in reverse. So to me, this is calling you to analyze your motivations and your intentions. Perhaps as well, this could also be indicating that part of the cure for you is going to be to stop. Because the Chariot is all about moving towards our goals. It is the vehicle that carries us towards those things that we want for ourselves in our life. And so you may be a very goal-oriented person yourself, but I think you're being asked here to stop, slow down, put some things on hold for a moment, to focus on self-care before you burn yourself out and before you lose focus or your sense of direction when trying to attain those things that you desire, right? Give the cure time to work. Basically, it's kind of like when you take medicine and you have to lay down so that the medicine can kick in and it can work and it can do its job. That's what you're being asked to do here. So there may be something that you want, something that you're working very hard towards. But right now your energy is better spent on taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. Which probably means taking a break for a little while, if you can, in any way, at any time. If there's something that you can say, I will focus on that when I feel better, and then just focus on feeling better. Okay, so now I'm going to clarify the satchel, the medicine bag. We're going to call it a medicine bag. Okay, and we have the Seven of Rods, all about standing your ground, defending yourself, protecting yourself, but also standing up for what you want and what you believe in. Standing up for those desires, those goals, okay? Standing by your own will and not allowing anyone else to railroad you or push you off of your path for their own gain, or to, you know, take anything away from your mission, if that makes sense. So I think that this is about, you know, defending your right to heal, to take care of yourself. Things will come up in your life on the day-to-day that will demand your time and your attention and your energy. And if in any way you can say, no, not today, I think that's what's going to be best for you here. I think you're being called to stand up for yourself, to lay down boundaries, to put your foot down, and make sure that your health and your healing is being prioritized at this time. Okay. Next card I'm going to clarify is the Memento Mori card. And we have the Page of Coins in reverse. So there's still a lot to learn here, guys. You may be a student. I always see the pages as being students or apprentices of some kind. You may be going to school right now, or like a vocational training program for a line of work that you want to get into. You may just be learning on your own at home. But when I see the Page of Coins in reverse, it seems to be sometimes a warning to make sure that you have all the information, to learn more, to keep working towards gathering information before taking what you've learned and putting it into action. Okay, you don't know enough yet. Coming out under the Memento Mori card too, I think is kind of suggesting that you still have a lot of healing work to do on yourself at this time. You haven't made it to the end yet. And you can't expect huge changes to happen overnight. This is something that takes time. This is something that takes a lot of attention and energy. You have to prioritize it. You have to focus on it. You have to put your healing over other things in your life sometimes. And I think too, because we have the page, you may be called to learn from somebody else, somebody who is wiser than you, or somebody who is an expert in regards to whatever it is that you're personally dealing with at this time. You could be called to seek help from a professional in order to gain the tools and the information that you need to implement these huge changes in your life. Okay. It seems almost like you're just at the beginning of this death process. You're at the very beginning of all of these changes that are taking place. And right now, it's really important to reflect and, well, reflect. Reflect is the right word. It's just time for you to reflect. There's a lot that you still are not yet conscious or aware of within yourself. And so you want to move forward. You want to rush this healing process along because you've got shit to do, but you can't. Everything will come to you in its right time, when you need it, when it's right. But right now, it's not quite that time yet. You still have a lot of work to do. You still have a lot to learn. And that's okay. Don't beat yourself up for that. That's why you're being called to stop. Why you're being called to rest and recuperate, because there is so much work to do, because there is so much to learn. But it's going to be worth it in the end. Very much so. It's really going to broaden your horizons and just give you a new lease on life, where it opens a lot of doors of opportunities and possibility to you that you may not have been aware of before in an old mindset, you know, in the old structures that you've been operating in up until this point. So what am I saying? What am I rambling on about? Rest. Get rest. Take care of yourself. Prioritize it. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, and I do want to just warn you that these are new cards. It's a totally different system, and I am learning them, so I'm only going to pull a couple. I think probably just 2 for you guys, since I pulled an extra card at the beginning. But they're beautiful, and they are very much focused on the process of healing and growth, so I think this is perfect for you guys. So the first card from this deck to come out for you is Wisdom. This is what you're experiencing right now. This is the point of the process. You are gaining a lot of wisdom. You've gained a lot of wisdom already through experience, and it's time to take count or take inventory of the lessons that you've learned, the wisdom that you have gained, and use it to decide how you're going to make your next move in life towards whether it be work or spirituality or your own healing process or even a relationship of some kind. But also, I think it's just clarification that everything that's happened to you up until this point happened for a reason. It happened to bring you this wisdom. These are lessons you had to learn. Whether it be because you made that decision before you came onto this earth, or if it's just the natural flow of things, whatever it may be, these are lessons that you had to learn. And everything that's happened up until this point happened for you to teach you these lessons. And it's really hard to hear and conceptualize when those lessons were learned the hard way. And I definitely understand and resonate with that. But when it comes to that reflection, looking back on the past, looking back on your childhood, any trauma, any pain, you have to try to look at it through the glasses of how has this made me a better person? How has this made me stronger? What has this taught me? How can I take these experiences and transmute them into something positive in the future? How can I take what I've learned here and apply them in a way that is helpful to others in the future? And then the next card we have is the Four of Water. You see there he's looking in a mirror, because this is about reflection. Reflecting on yourself, reflecting on your emotions, reflecting on who you are, what happened in your life to make you who you are, and recognizing that there is value in who you are, value in the experiences that have created you. And that's the third 4 we've got in this reading now that I think about it. 4. Very important number for you guys right now. Rest, recuperate, and solid foundations. Building solid foundations, maintaining your foundations. Sometimes it's about destroying old foundations to create new foundations that are better, that are more promising for your future. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Flowers from the Dead deck. A little additional advice from Spirit is kind of how I see these cards. Things that you might need to focus on a little extra. Okay, we have the Possum, fear and avoidance. So be honest with yourself. Are there things in your life that you fear, that you avoid, or that you avoid out of a sense of fear? Okay. Are there things like emotions from the past that you haven't dealt with yet out of fear? Are there opportunities that are available to you at this time that you have not taken advantage of because of that fear? Are you avoiding the world? Are you avoiding yourself? Are you avoiding dealing with your feelings? These are things that you have to be very honest with yourself about, because if you feel stuck at this time in your life, in your process, it's probably an avoidance issue. There are things that you need to face, things from the past that have had a very deep effect on you, that it is time to face, so that you can face any of those fears and realize that you are stronger and much bigger than any fear you may have, and that you really can overcome anything that comes your way. That's the message of the Possum. Okay, what else do we have for Leo? Next we have cooperation and completion. This is about the completion of a cycle. This is also about release, letting go. It's about compromise. It's about forgiveness. These are all things that are necessary to allow this cycle to complete, to be able to learn the lessons that you need to learn from this most recent cycle of your life. That word cooperation makes me think, again, that some of you guys may seek help from a professional or somebody outside of yourself who is wise or who may have advice that can help you or who can support you at this time. And if they are calling you to take certain actions or begin certain routines or practices that would be helpful to you, then you're being called to comply with that, to cooperate as well with the universe in terms of accepting the guidance from the universe and going with it in order to further along the healing process. There's also an element here of learning to work together to get the job done. So I don't know who you may be working together with. Perhaps it's other wounded children. This could be in terms of a support group, or just a group of friends who have similar experiences, who are on a similar path, who are helping each other to heal and helping each other to achieve their dreams, achieve their desires. But ultimately, it is to bring this most recent chapter of your life to a close so that something much better can begin for you. Okay. So now I'm going to pull a couple cards from my Terra Oracle deck. These are animal cards, and I see these as either traits that we may have that we need to be aware of, focus on, or address at this time, or perhaps traits of our animal friends that would be helpful for you to adopt in your situation, to make things easier for you, or to bring about a better, fresher perspective. So let's see what we've got for Leo. We're starting with the peacock. Okay, confidence. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know a Leo who's not good at this. But, regardless, if you lack in confidence, focus on that as a major part of your healing process. Okay? You are good enough. You are strong enough. You are very capable. I mean, you're still here, right? You have survived up until this point. Hopefully you're thriving, but even if you are still just surviving in your life right now, things are going to get better because you're going to make them better. Because you have the power and the intelligence and the will to make a better life for yourself. Be confident in yourself and in your abilities. Your ability to learn, your ability to do, your ability to think, and your ability to feel are all very important. I think there's an element there of trusting yourself and trusting how you feel as well. If you feel like something's not right and you need to address it. Don't question yourself. If you feel like something's going good, then trust that it's because you've worked for it and allow it to go good. See, it goes both ways, positive and negative. There's a balance to everything. Okay, we also have the pig, indulgence. Now, we all indulge from time to time. Sounds like a negative card, but it isn't necessarily. First and foremost, I would just pay attention to any areas in your life where you may overindulge, either in spending or, drinking or giving energy or time to any activity that doesn't really serve you, that perhaps only serves as a distraction, as a way to avoid dealing with your feelings and dealing with your situation. But also, it's just calling you to pay close attention to those things that you do indulge in, making sure that the best intentions are behind it and that it's something that is actually good for you. It's also very good and very positive to indulge in things like self-care and rest and cheesecake and things of that nature. So don't take that indulgence card and see it as something negative necessarily. Just make sure that when you do indulge, it's in something that's good for you. I'm going to pull one more card from this deck. Well, I said 1, it gave me 2. So next we have the manatee. Okay, compassion. Having compassion for yourself in the healing process. This is very important. It is integral to your healing. That you have compassion for yourself. That you're good to yourself as you work towards that healing. Treat yourself with the love and the respect and the compassion that you know you deserve. Or if you don't know that you deserve it, you know, that's something that you need to figure out, that it is true that you deserve to be treated with love and compassion and respect. But, you know, there's also the element too, goes the other way, treating other people with that compassion. Viewing the world through compassionate lenses allows you to see things in a very different way. And allows you to perhaps be a little more forgiving about things that may have happened in the past that hurt you. And it's that forgiveness that frees you from being bound by old wounds and old trauma. We have the koi as well. Okay, fortune. Good fortune, abundance, happiness, success, satisfaction, contentment. Good fortune. This is what's available to you. This is what you deserve. This is what you've earned. This is what's on its way to you in the very near future is that fortune. So keep that in mind as well, that as hard as things may seem, they are going to get better. And they're going to get better because you deserve it, because you've done the work. So just keep prioritizing your healing and your health. So now I'm going to pull a couple cards from the Illuminated Earth Oracle and the Faceted Garden Oracle, both by the same artist, and then we will call it a day for you guys. Okay, so first we have, if I can find it, I saw it flip. First we have support. This came out for another reading as well. Some of you guys are going through some very similar things right now, and it's starting to make me wonder if it's something in the stars that's going on right now. Very serious. But this card calls you to reach out to your support system. Allow people to help you, okay? Call someone when you need to talk and when you need someone to listen. Seek out professional support if you need it. Don't be afraid to do that. You are supported. You are supported by your loved ones. You are supported by God or Spirit or whatever you want to call it. And there are people out there ready to help you when you are ready to receive that help. Next, we have destruction. This is the destruction of old thought patterns, old ways of thinking, old ways of living that either no longer suit you or actively harm you. I always see that destruction card as being very positive, because that means that things that are negative in your life are going to be wiped away, be cleared out of your life, so that more positive things can come in. Positive influences, positive experiences, positive relationships. Okay? It's this, it's like this wash cycle for the universe, where every once in a while, the things that no longer serve us are completely destroyed and wiped away, so that we can rebuild ourselves, which is how we started this reading to begin with that 4 of coins and that 4 of blades. Rebuilding the self, rebuilding our foundations, creating something new, being completely self-made, no longer being a product of childhood trauma or any negative experiences from the past. You're no longer being a product of the past. You are now a product of your own invention, through that process of healing and growth, and by implementing these changes that allow you to create yourself as whoever you want to be, so that you can live whatever life you want to live. Okay, last 2 cards of the day. This is a Faceted Garden, and if you're interested in any of the cards that I use in this reading, they will be linked in the comments below, or not in the comments, what is that? Description. They'll be linked in the description. And if you've made it this far into the reading, God bless you. Seriously. I tell myself that these are going to be 30 minutes. 30 minutes tops. And here we are at 40. Okay, 2 more for Leo, please. And when I shuffle, I do prefer to take jumpers, so if you get tired of hearing me shuffle, go ahead and skip forward until you see a card on the table. But now that I've said that, a card came out. First, we have Gate. This is a gate. This is like that threshold between the old you and the new you, the old life and the new life, the old perspective and the new perspective. You've reached it, or you're approaching those gates. The pearly gates, if you want to think of them that way. Where it's like you're so close. You're so close to that growth. You're so close to implementing those important changes in your life. You know, through this healing process. The gate card just comes out to confirm to you that while the end is near of this cycle, the beginning of the next cycle is just as close and more promising. Let's see, get one more card out of this deck for you guys. Okay, so we have fall. And this is about the season of fall. Okay. Harvest, fall harvest, reaping the rewards of your hard work, seeing the results from the work that you've put in, whether it be on something tangible or physical, or whether it be, you know, seeing the results of your growth through the healing process because of the effort you put into it. One other thing about fall that I think about, though, is that fall coming right before winter, coming right before that time when we rest, we hibernate, we recuperate, and we plan for the next spring. Okay? So you're reaching a point where, as I said in the beginning, it's about time to start resting and reflecting and taking care of yourself. You know, and being able to realign yourself on the mental, emotional, spiritual, physical levels, all of those, just realigning your energy so that you can make plans for the future, so that you can build this new life. It's all about self-care, it's all about rest, as well as taking stock of the lessons that you've learned up until this point and figuring out how you can apply those lessons moving forward, which all requires that time in reflection, meditation, and stillness. So take some time for yourself, guys. Take some time to rest. Take some time to take care of yourself. Put some things on hold if you can, because your goals will still be there. And the opportunities that are right for you are going to be available to you once you've done that necessary work on healing yourself. All right, Leo, that is what I've got for you guys. I want to thank you so much again for joining me. If that resonated and you enjoyed it, please remember to like this video, subscribe, notification bell, etc. Leave a comment if you want to. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the next one.